Whew. Man, oh man. I appreciate the advice, D. I'll try to pull her aside tomorrow at practice and ask if we can chat. Thanks for listening, bruh. All right, I can do this. I think. I know it's been about 10 years, but I think I still owe her an explanation for my behavior, as well as an apology. She deserves so much better. Allow me to continue my story on the way back to the crib. The context truly matters for understanding. Anyway, it was rumored around campus that Kiara and Joe had been seen arguing a lot in public. You know, a real toxic kind of love. I paid it no attention, still trying to tune out the fact that she wasn't mine. Well, one day, I had just finished working out in the athletic center with the fellas. We were enjoying a good laugh. What about? I can't remember exactly. All I know is, as we were leaving, in mid-laugh, I spotted Kiara walking alone down the sidewalk. She was wiping her eyes, and it looked like she had been crying. When we locked eyes, my smile from the laughter started to fade. She kind of stopped and had a look of embarrassment. Both of our faces screamed, "Rescue." Hers? Rescue me. Mine? Rescue her. But nah, I had an inkling of what and who she was crying about, and I felt that she had made her own bed, so she had to lie in it. I continued chatting with the fellas as I walked right past her. A couple of days later, I saw her sitting in her normal corner near the window by the coffee shop in the student center. On this day, I purposely walked in that direction, building up the courage to check on her. And when I did, as usual, she had her headphones on listening to music. I tapped her on the shoulder. When she turned and looked at me, she looked confused, happy, but also prideful with a sense of disdain. I said, "What's up?" She gave me a head nod. I asked if I could sit. She just pointed at the seat across from her. I asked how she was doing. She just shrugged her shoulders. I began to chuckle, and I asked her if she was just going to give me gestures instead of speak. And she shrugged. Again. Then she smiled and began to chuckle along with me. She took her headphones off, and she asked me what I wanted. I told her nothing major, that I was just checking on her since I noticed her crying the other day. We both let our guards down a bit, and now she seemed comfortable enough to tell me what had happened. It was just as I suspected. It was over Joe. She told me that they had broke up because he was out there being a hoe on campus. Then all of a sudden one day he felt guilty and told her everything about every girl he had smashed. She told me that she had already knew about half the girls he had mentioned, and because she knew he was cheating, she had done the same with a dude on campus. Ugh. Hearing that made my stomach turn. But I swallowed it and kept listening. The guy she was talking about was super popular, a star football player, and actually was a cool dude. I mean, I wouldn't say we were friends, but as athletes, we did hang around the same circles. Of course, all the girls wanted him, and he would want Kiara. Well, when Joe heard the news, out of jealousy, he flipped out and began calling her all types of names. I tell you, men and our egos, right? How the hell you admit to cheating with multiple girls? She mentions one, and you go off. Crazy. But clearly, I'm egotistical as well, so I can't judge too harshly. We both ended up skipping our next classes and sat there and talked for hours. It was obvious we missed each other. We got to joking about whether or not she was a good cook, and that being the reason Joe may have cheated. All jokes, of course. She told me that she was indeed a great cook, and actually enjoys to now that she has an apartment off campus. What she offered next was a surprise to me. She asked if I wanted to come over one evening that week and offered to cook for me. I told her hell yeah. I still didn't have a car, so I told her that I'd have to check with one of my roommates to see if they could give me a ride. She agreed, and we confirmed that our phone numbers were still the same. My boy agreed to give me a ride to her place. When I arrived, she greeted me at the door, wearing a white tank top and some orange Sophie shorts, also known as the classic cheerleader shorts. Man, Kiera was very small and petite, but had curves in all the right places. Not to mention, she wasn't wearing a bra or panties. She knew exactly what the fuck she was doing, and my nerves were shot. As I walked in, I didn't smell anything burning on the stove. I asked if she had cooked. She just looked at me straight up and said, nah. I tried to act so disappointed, as if that was the only reason I came by. Let's be honest. I ain't give two fucks about no damn chicken wings after seeing her at the door. She gave me a quick tour of her place, then offered me a seat on her sofa in her living room. And because I know myself, I purposely brought distractions with me. I brought my homework. As I sat down, I opened my backpack, I took out a textbook, a pen, and a notepad, and began to focus on my schoolwork. I could feel Kiera staring and somewhat laughing at my nervousness as she sat very close to me. I was about to go crazy. She asked me what I was doing. I told her I needed to study. That girl knew I was bullshitting. She kept trying to make conversation with me, but I kept focused on my textbook. Finally, she snatched the book away and told me to focus on her. We chatted more about our previous connection and relationship and all that had occurred. She asked me about my girlfriend back home. Remember the one I lied about? Well, kinda lied about. I mean, there was someone I was dealing with, but I'll tell y'all about that later. I admitted to her that I made it up just to hurt her feelings. Kiera was completely unbothered, almost as if she knew. Time began to pass, as I had told my homeboy to come back and get me at 9. When he arrived, I couldn't get out of there fast enough. I couldn't be in her presence for too much longer without wanting to do some things, if you know what I mean. So, needless to say, I was happy when my boy texted me that he had gotten there a few minutes earlier than I expected. Kiera walked me to the door and thanked me for coming by. I obliged and told her, hey, we should do this again sometime. She agreed as she reached out for a hug. Nervously, I hugged her, placing my arms around her neck. Can y'all imagine how awkward that was? I'm 6'1" and she 5 foot tall, but I was trying to be careful. She grabbed both my arms and placed them around her waist as she wrapped her arms around my neck. Then, she planted the softest, most sensual kiss on my neck. I looked her in her eyes and I kissed her soft lips. After a few seconds of kissing, she lightly pushed me away and said,
"Too late now."
She said goodbye, opened the door, and gestured for me to walk out. Bruh. After she closed the door behind me, I just leaned up against the wall and stayed there for a good 2 minutes before walking away. My God. Yeah, it's safe to say I was gonna get my girl back. For sure.